and welcome back to Wandering Wild. Today is a Wild Wednesday, and we're going to talk all about the American alligator. The American alligator has the scientific name Alligator mississippiensis, and sometimes it's just called the common alligator. Now, it's one of only two species in that alligator genus left alive today. The other is the smaller Chinese alligator. Now, this large reptilian species is native to the southeastern United States and is found from North Carolina all the way to Texas. Now, this particular alligator species is usually found in freshwater marsh cypress systems, not in saltwater. If you're seeing a large reptile in saltwater, more than likely you're seeing the American crocodile. Now, though they look very similar, there are some key differences between the American alligator and the American crocodile. The alligator has a broader snout with overlapping jaws and usually darker coloration. Also, it can withstand much colder temperatures, whereas the American crocodile is only going to be found in the tropics. Adult male alligators can get up to 15 feet long and weigh up to 1,000 pounds. But females are usually smaller, not reaching more than 10 feet long. An alligator is considered an apex predator, meaning that it predates on things below it, but not much predates on it. Alligators can eat fish, amphibians, invertebrates, small mammals, and other reptiles, just depending on what's available at the moment. They're also considered a keystone species and an ecological engineer, and this is because when they create their nesting sites, or what's called alligator holes, they're actually creating habitat for other animals, because these alligator holes create both wet and dry environments that different animals then use to survive. Now, though alligators are territorial all year round, during the breeding season, they get hyper-territorial and will stake a claim to an area, and they will not relent or let anyone else into it. Now, at this point in time is mating season, so males are trying to attract females as mates, and male alligators actually use infrasound to attract their mates. Now, once a female and a male have mated, a female will lay her eggs in a nest she's created out of leaves and twigs and sticks and mud, and this is usually found kind of close to the water. Now, when these baby alligators are born, they have yellow bands around them, which they will lose with age, and their mother's going to protect them for up to a year. Now, something really interesting about alligators is that temperature actually plays a role on whether or not the hatchlings will be male or female. Eggs that are developed and hatched at temperatures over 93 degrees Fahrenheit are much more likely to be males, whereas those who develop and hatch under 86 degrees Fahrenheit are much more likely to be females. Now, as you can see, there's a range in there between 93 and 86 that it can be anything. It's kind of a 50-50 shot. So it's not an exact science, but it is quite interesting. And for this reason, the location of the nest can actually be a big determining factor on whether or not the hatchlings will be male or female. If it's in a cooler area with less leaves or something like that, you may have more females, whether if it's in a warmer area, farther underground, so forth, it may be males. Historically, alligators were quite threatened, and mostly by hunting. They were actually put on the endangered species list in 1973. However, conservation efforts since then allowed them to be taken off the endangered species list by 1987, and today they're considered an animal of least concern. The American alligator is actually the state reptile of 3 states, not just one. That would include Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Now let's talk about how long alligators have been around. We know that alligators and other caiman or crocodilian species, such as the crocodiles, the caimans, and the alligators, have been around for a long time, and they're basically kind of like living dinosaurs. However, up until recently, we really just knew that these types of species started to arise during the late Cretaceous period. However, in 2016, a Miocene fossil was discovered in Marion County, Florida. The unique thing about this fossilized skull was that it was virtually indistinguishable between the current day skull of an American alligator. This means that in all reality, our current American alligator has probably been found in Florida for over 8 million years, which is pretty incredible because you're basically looking at a piece of history when you look at an American alligator. I hope you enjoyed learning all about the American alligator today here on Wondering Wild. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And my sources are found in the description box below. And as always, stay wild and never stop wondering.